What, you were expecting an intro? You already clicked on the video, you know what it's about. Man, that guy is so rude. So rude. Anyway, obviously we're going to be repairing this dogleg today. Not going to worry about doing the sill panel because I need some of them folded up for me, but because obviously I'm going to be replacing the whole lot. Because yeah. But anyway, we're just going to be focusing on the dogleg. Not going to be doing the inner because I'm not going to be using the wheel tub. So yeah, we'll get stuck into that. All right, we got the paper on there. Yeah, we can start filling it up with bog and fiberglass. No. What we're going to start off with is I'm going to obviously stick my paper on there, get him all sorted out. I'll get that all marked out to what I need it to be, and then we'll transfer this to steel. Anyway, I'm going to throw you on the time lapse, and we'll show you how I do that. Alright, so as you can see, I've got my template all pretty well done. I sort of just eyeballed it down here. I've got a rough idea of how thick it needs to be just by what's left on the sill panel down there. And yeah, obviously I've made a little bit of a section that can then fold in and then get welded to the inner sill, because that's how that one goes. I've left a bit of meat just so I can roll it into the site in the door jamb area. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it, really. Yeah, it really doesn't take you long to do like a little template like this. I find it sort of, if you get the general shape and then trim it down and then go back in for a sort of second visit and then, get it a little bit closer, that's really the way to do templates in this sort of situation. But yeah, anyway, we'll transfer this to steel and get shaping. Alright, so I've got my template all marked out onto the sheet of steel. Obviously with this one, I ended up just folding, like say, the door jamb section and the wheel arch in on itself, so I could still mark that out pretty accurately. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. That's how I like to do that. Yeah, we'll get this cut out. Alright, so I suppose there's a few ways to really do this, and this is the way I'm going to be doing it today. I'm going to start with folding over the section that goes inside the door jamb and behind the sill panel, which is this section through here. So this part is the door jamb. This is inside the sill panel where it gets welded to the inner sill. I'm going to be doing this in the vise just, because it's a little bit easier. I'm just going to start putting in this radius, and then I'll continue on with the hammer and dolly method. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll chuck you on the time lapse and we'll get stuck into it. Alright, so we've got this one all sort of hammered around. It's not too pretty at the moment. There's still a few hammer marks and stuff if you look across the top, but majority of the 90-degree bend is there. Now, because obviously I did it in sections, it's starting to have a bit of a curve into it now, so I'm going to have to put it into the shrinker stretcher anyway, but obviously I'm going to have to straighten up some of that and then put the curve into it to match the dog leg. So yeah, we'll get stuck into that and yeah. Too much. Unfortunately, what happened was I did a few little too many passes down low of the dogleg section, so I'm now going to have to go back and stretch rather than shrink that area to straighten it back out again, but that's not a big deal. Alright, what do you need, Mr. Dogleg? What do you need? Alright, so I've got the dogleg just clamped onto the car, sort of to help move some of the corners around. Mainly this one here, obviously, because I'm not going to worry about the wheel arch part of it yet. Now, the reason being that is some of the guesswork, it'll just help take some of that away, because there is always guesswork when this sort of stuff, whenever I do it anyway. And as you can see, the bottom of this is sort of kicking out, so I figure if I can put a bit of pressure on that and tap this around, it'll help bring that 90 around. So yeah, it'll just make it a little bit easier when I'm getting this shape right rather than this shape. So anyway, get stuck into it. Alright, so here we are anyway. Gap needs a little bit more working around, but this area right here needs a little bit more stretching, I think. Stretching, yeah. Yep. And then it'll be flush with the door anyway, so not that this side's really that great, because the door overlaps the dogleg a little bit anyway, but I'm not going to get too carried away with it, because yeah, it's not a show car or anything. So yeah, and I mean, if later on, if I wanted to, I could always weld some tabs along here and give it a little bit of a pull out, so not a big deal. All I'm just going to be focusing on is getting this sort of as close as possible, and then obviously making it rust free in the same colour. Alright, so I've got my lines marked out, so here and here, that's where I know it's a little bit got too much shape in it compared to the rest of the door. So yeah, we'll chuck this fella in here, and if we can. Take a little bit more shape out of it. Try that. So we still need a little bit more out of it. Not a big deal. Now, because I've done that, I need to put a little bit more shrink through here. All right, just stopped for a little bit of a break. Off camera, I took the wheel, well, I jacked the car up, got the wheel off, clecoed the patch panel into place. I ended up folding that corner underneath there as well, in preparation to folding over the wheel arch lip. So yeah, that's all coming around. So yeah, it's not too bad so far. Hopefully I don't lose a whole lot of shape with when I fold the rest of that wheel arch around, but we'll see. Not a big deal if it does anyway. I can still throw it in the shrinker stretcher, so not a big deal. Anyway, I'll chuck you guys on time lapse and I'll get stuck into it. Alright, I did a little bit of work just off camera just there for a minute. Cleaned up that dog leg, got it clecoed into place. Obviously still got to do the final sort of cut, and I think I've got to hammer that around just a little bit more. Seems like that sort of wants to, but that's fine, not a drama. The rest of it's looking pretty good, so I'm happy with that. It's not looking too bad in there. That should all tidy up in there pretty well. Around the wheel arch looks pretty good. Not that that really matters because that'll get folded in on itself anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Not sure when I'll get that one welded in, but it will probably be sooner or later. Yeah, anyway, until next time. Cheers.